This is probably one of the biggest topics regarding to the current online landscape I need to talk about, because one of the most important pieces of tech journalism was published this year. And if you guys are already scared about AI, this kind of brings it on to let's just say Hollywood villain level situations, like the man behind the biggest AI push, the entire humanity is generally against, apart from, big corporations, but they're always evil anyway. The man behind it is claimed in quotes to be a psychopath. Yes, that is what we're going to be talking about today. Don't take it from me. These aren't my words. But apparently, you need to be very concerned about the information you're giving to ChatGPT, because the founder himself is apparently, I don't know, evil or something. Let's talk about it. New Yorker, the massive journalism company, they published just a small investigation into one of the most powerful CEOs on the planet, because he's the CEO of the biggest AI company on the planet. So he's, he's kind of up there. He's kind of important, he's just slightly important. Now, they interviewed, I believe, over 100 people, but you could just fact check me on that. But the point is, they interviewed a whole bunch of people and asked them, hey, how is this Sam Altman guy? Is he a good guy? Should we trust him with all of our data and basic direction, as a human race moving forward? Because everyone and their mom is now using ChatGPT. And well, the picture they paint is quite disturbing. The article is titled, Sam Altman May Control Our Future, Can He Be Trusted? Or something like that. And it's about Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. Everyone seems to have opinion about him. But this isn't an opinion. This is statements from former board members, former employees, former partners, and people who've known him for decades, all on record or close to it, describing the same patterns of behavior being shown from, the CEO, Sam Altman. And the word that keeps coming up from multiple independent sources is that he is a sociopath. I didn't say it. OpenAI, please do not take my video down. It's not coming from me. Don't shoot the messenger. An OpenAI board member told the New Yorker that he is the quote, he's unconstrained by truth. He has two traits that are almost never seen in the same person. The first is a strong desire to please people, to be liked in any interaction. The second is a almost sociopathic lack of concern for the consequences that may come from deceiving someone. Now, that's not a random internet commenter. That's someone who sat on the board of his company. And this wasn't just current insiders. Aaron Swartz, the legendary coder and activist who co-founded Reddit, he warned people about Altman before he died in 2013. They were in the same Y Combinator batch in 2005. I don't know what that means, but basically he either knew the guy or spoke to the guy. This is ages ago, like over 10 years ago. Swartz told a confidant, you need to understand that Sam can never be trusted. He's a sociopath. He would do anything. Now, this is over a decade before ChatGPT existed. This isn't hindsight. That someone saw this coming 13 years ago. It goes even further than this, if this wasn't already bad enough. So this goes way beyond this. The CEO of Claude, Anthropic, those guys, the people I made a video about the other day, well, they left OpenAI to start their main company, which is Anthropic, specifically over safety concerns. Now, they negotiated a ranked list of safety demands before a $1 billion Microsoft deal in 2019. Now, Altman agreed to the list, but then when the deal was closing, Dario, the CEO of Anthropic, discovered a provision that has been added that gutted the top demand. So basically not making it very useful, this whole safety demand list thing. He confronted Altman, and Altman denied the provision existed. Even as Dario read it out loud to him, he denied it while the words were being spoken to his face. So essentially, if you guys didn't understand, apparently Altman doesn't really care too much about all this safety stuff and safety concerns, and Claude was actually built around trying to make it more safer or aligning with the safety concerns that they feel like OpenAI wasn't really going forward with. And Microsoft wasn't spared either. Multiple Microsoft executives described Altman as repeatedly going back on his word. One Microsoft exec told the New Yorker he has misrepresented, distorted, and renegotiated and re-engaged on agreements. So clearly he's not a very trustworthy guy. This is the same week that OpenAI reaffirmed Microsoft as the exclusive provider for certain AI models, and on the same day announced a $50 billion deal with Amazon. Microsoft reportedly signaled it was willing to sue over that. So, not the best company. I understand why people are very angry about Sam Altman and the company. They're very scummy overall from what I'm reading. Now, this investigation also revealed that OpenAI promised 20% of its computing power to a super alignment team, the people tasked with making sure AI doesn't end humanity. Kind of a big, important deal. You know, I don't want humanity to end. Maybe you guys don't want it either. But they actually got around 1 to 2% on the oldest hardware. When the New Yorker asked to speak with the researchers working on the existential safety department, an OpenAI rep seemed confused. Well, they said that's not a thing, and even though they said they do care about safety and they were promised to do all these things around safety and AI, but they didn't do any of it. But the detail that really ties this together is what Altman said about truth itself. In 2023, he argued that allowing AI to sometimes be wrong, as in to hallucinate, was actually a feature. He said that if you force a model to only say things that it's 100% sure about, it won't have the magic that people will like so much. I had no idea this was a thing. He actually agrees with, I guess, manipulation to some extent, but he would rather kind of pull the wool over people's eyes instead of being honest with them. He says hallucination isn't that bad. You know, have you ever heard about AI psychosis? People have literally done insane things. People have game-ended themselves. Now, that's his philosophy about his product, okay? And apparently, it's his philosophy about himself too. A former board member offered a slightly different read, okay? That Altman isn't a calculated villain. He's just so lost in his own self-belief that he can't even tell the difference anymore. Here's the quote from the board member. He's too caught up in his own self-belief, so he does things that if you live in the real world makes no sense. But he doesn't live in the real world anymore. How the New Yorker framed it was perfect. Even Steve Jobs never told his customers that if they didn't buy his product, everyone they loved would die. Altman has reportedly framed AI exactly in those existential terms, then used that fear to justify moving faster with fewer guardrails, less safety, pushing AI more dramatically without the concern of anyone else around them, okay? And no one likes how AI is progressing right now. Now, Sam Altman runs the company which is building what he calls himself the most powerful and dangerous technology in human history. His own former chief scientist started a memo with a list headed, Sam exhibits a consistent pattern of, and the first item of this list was lying. His former safety lead wrote privately that, quote, the problem with OpenAI is Sam himself, and the safety team he promised doesn't even exist. There's too many problems to really start opening up. One, this massive company that has taken over the internet is based on lies. Sam Altman clearly can't be trusted because he's the head of the company. There is no safety department, and clearly safety is put on the back burner. Makes sense why AIs hallucinate so much. And yeah, of course they don't really care about AI psychosis. I remember at some point when there was the amount of AI psychosis reports were increasing, and it was because of one of the new updates to ChatGPT. Well, clearly they don't care, because the man behind it doesn't care. It's a feature for Sam Altman. Okay, now there's a lot to unpack here, but this is all I have enough time for in today's video. If you want a more deeper dive, make sure to subscribe, because we have a lot more videos coming up in the future. And if you need more content, make sure to watch this video over here, and I will see you in the next one.